Hey guys, Fox here with a video on how to carry solo queue as support. I recently released a video similar to this for the jungle role, which I'll link to in the description, and much like that video, I'll be giving advice specifically from the perspective of a lower elo. There is a belief that support can't carry in solo queue, but I'm going to dispense some tips on how you can beat that false perception. Again, this video is being made in collaboration with Pro Guides, which I'll give you more detail on at the end. First things first, let me just bust that myth that supports can't carry. Now, generally speaking, this usually comes down to two core beliefs. The first of which is that you can't carry because your teammates are too bad. Polishing a turd is still just a turd after all. Well, the sweet fact is that any negative attributes that you can label onto your own team must logically also be labeled onto the enemy team too. Your teammates can't CS properly, they're always getting caught, they don't listen to calls, etc. The weaknesses from your allies are the same areas that you should be looking to exploit from your enemies. The second reasoning for support supposedly not being able to carry is that they lack items and the ability to have an individually meaningful impact. Thus, it's up to your team to do the work, and well, that takes us back to the first point. Now, I do agree that individual impact is an important factor of carrying solo queue, but I also do feel like supports go underrated on this front. Having said that, certain types of champion picks have better impacts than others, and this leads me to my first real tip for carrying as a support. Pick either a high burst mage support or a very tanky aggressive support. The high burst mage supports such as Brand and Annie can fill that support role with high base damage and decent CC, while also playing somewhat similar to your traditional mage archetypes, albeit slightly underfed. If these champions get rolling, they can carry pretty bloody hard, just like as if they were a standard mid laner. You also don't need to use your brain too much, because all you gotta do is press a few buttons and blow people up. Brand and Annie are the best meta examples of this, but people like Lux, Zyra, Karma, and even LeBlanc can do this if you know how to play them effectively. Now, going back and talking about the other type of supports will lead us nicely onto our next tip, the importance and power of initiation and aggression. The tanky aggressive supports such as Leona and Alistair are very well suited to being bullies and getting in your opponent's face. Not only do they hold good potential for winning lanes by themselves, their aggressive play in general puts enemies under pressure and encourages them to make mistakes and panic. Chances are in the lower leagues, players are mostly just attuned to their own style of play. Forcing yourself upon them will make them adapt outside of their comfort zone, giving you the advantage. Moreover, these tanky supports can heavily disrupt enemies in teamfights, which allows your team to operate with more breathing room and less pressure. And I just mentioned how problematic being put under pressure can be for lower elo players. On top of that, their ability to start fights is really valuable. Choosing when to pull the trigger can drastically alter the outcome of teamfights and, if done correctly, lead you to come out on top of the vast majority of your fights. Look for opportunities where a carry is out of position, where you have a numbers advantage, or where several enemies are grouped. The next tip to give is about roaming to mid lane. Being able to apply pressure to other lanes is a good way of getting them ahead, and helping lanes never hurts anyone, right? Just so long as you do it properly and don't leave your AD carry out to dry. Make sure to only roam when you don't need to be at their side. Good examples of this would be when the enemy bot lane is in spawn and when you've just left spawn yourself, almost like taking a detour to mid before you go to bot. It's best to have boots as well when you do this, so you're not spending too much time just wandering about. Roaming also gives you the opportunity to really scale the map, which leads me to my next point about the benefits of planting deep vision. Most players only really worry about warding their own lanes, and sometimes even then they don't do it, but getting optimal use out of your sight stone includes getting those cheeky wards down in the enemy jungle. Why? Well, this allows you to spot plays coming out before they've even happened, so you can react to them better or even set up counter plays if you're in position to do so. People often forget that wards not only show you where people are, but they also show you where people aren't. If you've lit up the entire bottom side of the jungle and the enemy jungler is nowhere to be seen, you can probably deduct that he might be topside and therefore play accordingly. But Foxy, there's no point warding because my team has no map awareness and they always get caught and die anyway. Ah, thank you for perfectly transitioning me to my next point. Now look at you, it's almost like you knew exactly what to say. Fantastic stuff. That final point that I wanted to give, excluding those that I give to my girlfriend, is be the eyes for your team. Yes, map awareness sucks in solo queue, and the lower elo you get, the worse it tends to become. I will admit that. So, be the one to look at the map, spam pings to help your team, remove that burden from them, and cover their weaknesses like a true support should. Now that does it for all the tips I want to give in this video. Like I said in the beginning, this video is done in partnership with Pro Guides. They're a website which is a great tool for helping you become a better League player. They've got really polished guides, great customer support, and overall I just recommend that you use them, so I'll put a link to them in the description. Apart from that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more educational League content with a bit of entertaining stuff on the side as well. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments for this type of video, see what you thought about them. And apart from that, go find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and catch me streaming over on Twitch as well. All those links are in the description, guys. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.